All right, so I've had some bad luck lately, and the Mustang's not doing so well. A couple of jackholes decided to brake check me, and I ran into somebody. Didn't have the GoPro going. If I had it going, it would have been a whole different turnout. But because I didn't, I was cited as being at fault. And in any case, you can see there's some substantial damage. This is all busted up. The headlight just kind of hangs there. The whole bumper is just hanging on. This core support is all busted up. It's cracked in here. You can see the damage in the bumper. There's a nice big gouge here. There's another big gouge here. This fog light stopped working. This headlight, I actually had to pull the bulb out of it, because if you can see in there, which I'm sure you might be able to, the plastic's busted up in there. So when I turned the headlights on, it started smoking because the bulb was up against the plastic housing and it was cooking itself. So I've got that to deal with. Fortunately, so far I've been ordering some parts. We got the Raxium fog lights up here to get the fog lights taken care of. Got the headlights here. I've got the grill delete there because obviously there is no more grill delete. And then I've got a bad tire on the driver's side front, so we've got a new tire for that. Got to get that on there. Things aren't looking so good. It's quite expensive, and I've got a lot of other stuff I need to do. I've got this headlight held in with packing tape, as you can see, to keep it, because it just is just hanging out there doing its thing. And of course, just after that, the Ford stock intake manifold decided, just like the Dormans normally do, it exploded off the rear nipple back here, the heater hose, and decided to dump all the antifreeze out. So it cost me about $300. I went ahead and did all the work myself. Got the Ford Racing intake manifold put on there, and after looking inside the stock intake manifold, which has got 160,000 miles on it, the composites on all the intake runners and everything was completely degraded. The thing was just falling apart from the inside out. So there's actually been some good news. It runs a lot better with the new intake manifold on there. The battery, I keep it on a battery tender now, or battery extender, because this battery that I bought 6 months ago decided to die. And what I think it is the SCT X4. Oh, damn it, I gotta open the door. You can see it hanging down from the dash there, just above the AC vents. I had that plugged in, and it stayed plugged in for the last year or two. But I think that it's, with the Wi-Fi and whatever else, I think that it's putting a slight draw. And the car did sit for about a week, and I think that it just drained the battery. So that's kind of my theory there. Hopefully everything's fine. I'm still being precautious, and anytime I'm not driving the car, it's on the battery extender. As you can see right now, it says it's fully charged, auto maintaining. So that's the bad news with the Mustang. Need to get the front end taken care of. and need to get this tire over here taken care of. I don't think there's any way I'm going to be able to show you. No. It's cupping on the inside. Part of that's due to the drop, and they can't get it completely aligned. So it's got a, I think they said like a -2-degree camber. I could be mistaken on that. It's something like that, and it's causing the inside of the tire to wear pretty significantly. Also, the weights, these never had this problem in my life, but since I switched to the 18-inch bullets, they throw weights. Both front tires have thrown weights. This one's thrown weights twice, and the driver's side is thrown weights 3 times. So I'm not sure why that is. If it's, I've used different companies. I've used NTB. I've used tire or Discount Tire. I've used Goodyear. Doesn't matter who I use. The weights keep coming off, and it keeps causing problems. So I think the solution to that's going to be a new set of wheel and tires, because this is just too much of a friggin' headache to deal with. Everything else has been running great for the miles that are on the car, and as old as it is, it's still, paint and body is great on it, minus the front end, obviously. I mean, I've even had to shove some cardboard in here to get this headlight to stop from moving. And you can look and see, things are definitely not straight. It's just not copacetic. The hood latch is bent towards me, so in order to close the hood, I actually have to grab here, and I have to slam it down as hard as I physically can to get it to latch. That's the shit that I've been dealing with this. Fortunately, the bike has been an absolute joy. No problems there. Just had new tires put on it. I just did an oil change on it. She's doing great. You can see my wife's Mustang down here. In fact, let's go take a look at this guy. My son wrecked this. Ran into the back of a Jeep. You can see that we had to put a ratchet strap over the hood, which required me to drill some holes into the fenders here, because the hood will not latch down at all, not even the secondary safety latch. So without this tiny little ratchet strap, the hood would fly up into the windshield. But this is mangled all to hell. Headlight, I mean, look at this gap here. I can stick my hands in there. It's just, it's fucked. Excuse my language, but you can see it's got a nice little gap in here I can shove my finger in. It's a 99 V6 Mustang. She loves it, but honestly, with the damage on it, I just don't see there being any fixing or replacing all this, and not being better off just buying another Mustang, because all this costs more than the car itself is worth. So that's the update on the Mustangs. I know I've been doing the bike stuff the last couple of videos, but I figured I'd bring out the Mustangs. We went ahead and this thing's been sitting. We picked up a 2010 Dodge Journey for my wife, and she's loving that. So as long as she's happy, happy wife, happy life. Mustang looks great from the rear. Still have the damage from when it got hit in the back. One day I'll get around to sticking the rear bumper on there. Not until I can find a Cobra rear bumper, because I'm just, that's where I draw the line. If I'm gonna replace it and paint it, it's getting what I want on it, and I want the Cobra rear on there. They do make them where the Cobra is actually flush and it doesn't say Cobra at all. So Those run about $900 just for the bumper, and then I gotta pay to paint it and all that fun stuff. So it's on the list of stuff to do. So other than that, mechanically, this thing drives like a dream. It does so much better with the new intake manifold. We've got some more work to do. Ripped a brake line out, having it drug out of a sand pit that my wife drove it into. That's a long story I'd rather not get into. But I think we're going to go ahead and call it an end there. If you like, well, you're sadistic, so hit that like button anyways. And we'll catch you next time.